Hey guys, how about those Michigan Wolverines? I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And now it is on to Columbus next week. Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube over here. Yep, there's my picture of well, technically it's not my picture, but the picture of Jake Moody I used for the thumbnail. Okay. Yeah, I'm live. So I am going to get us started with Let's Go Blue, and then I'm going to jump in. I know folks are probably, well, some folks may be watching Ohio State versus Maryland. So folks want to see if Ohio State's going to come to the game undefeated. So I'm going to play Let's Go Blue. I'm going to do my game analysis, and then I will hop off. Thank you to whoever has joined me. Please hit that like button. I suspect folks are glued to the Ohio State Maryland game right now. I'm going to get us started with Let's Go Blue. Hold on. All right. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. If you see fit, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. This is a live stream, so the super chat is live. And if you're watching the playback, you can also leave a super thanks. So, Michigan, and I have to change the title to this. It was 1917, Michigan, not 2017, Michigan. So, guys, I first of all, before I jump in, hey guys, sports are the great escape. Hopefully, you all had good weeks. Life comes at you fast. You never know what's going to happen, but a lot of people don't understand why we congregate around our sports teams and why we root for our sports teams and why these games matter. But one answer is sports are the great escape. So you get to escape from real life at least for a couple of hours. And in many instances, that's necessary. That's a good thing. I know that I'm watching myself on YouTube as I'm streaming, but whoever, if there's someone else watching, please shout yourselves out in the chat. Please leave a comment. Please let me know what you thought of today's game. So again, I have to change the title. Michigan won this game. Let me just double check here. 1917. It was 1917, not 2017. That's an odd score, 1917. But that's how they won it. Okay, so Michigan somehow pulled this game out. Michigan was picked to win this game by 17 points, I believe. And I woke up this morning to a text message from my Uncle Ice. Shout out to Uncle Ice. He said, I'm rooting against your Wolverines today. I'm rooting for Illinois. And I said, you go ahead and do that. Screw you. Well, I didn't say that to my uncle, but that's what I was thinking. I mean, who does that? Who says that to someone first thing in the morning that I'm rooting against your team? And yeah, it looked for a little while like Illinois was going to pull the upset and Michigan was going to go down to Columbus next week with one loss, but it wasn't meant to be. Let's see, Trevor Coles, what's going on, Trevor? Thank you for stopping through. Everyone, please hit that like button if you are going to stop through and if you've opened this up, even for just a few seconds. Okay, so I have some notes here. Today was senior day, and there were a number of players out. Mike Morris was out on the defensive side of the ball. I think he was missed. Donovan Edwards was out on the offensive side of the ball. He was missed. We're going to get to that. Luke Schoonmaker was out. He was missed on the offensive side of the ball. So Michigan went to war today without a lot of its weapons on both sides of the ball. Now, and it was a close game. It was a chippy game. Again, Michigan was predicted to win by 2 touchdowns. And they went up quickly by 7 points early on, and then they couldn't put more points on the board. And Illinois kept it close. They eventually tied the game. Illinois eventually pulled ahead. And I think the big thing that worried me is that Blake Corum went out in that, I believe it was late in the second quarter. And when Blake Corum went out, that's when you kind of said, okay, now the game is really going to have to be put on JJ McCarthy's shoulders because Donovan Edwards is out, so we don't have someone else to hand the ball off to. Donovan Edwards contributes to the passing game as a receiver. And with Blake Corum out, Blake Corum is our bell cow. He's our workhorse. And without him, we haven't really shown that we can pass the ball down the field with a high level of effectiveness this season. What are we going to do without Blake Corum? So I was worried about that. And it things got pretty dire in that second half. JJ, let me adjust this real quick. You can see my Michigan there. Yeah, you can see it more now. Yeah, JJ made throws in the second half. I mean, we were fortunate in some ways. There was the fumble that he picked up and he hit Cornelius Johnson rolling out. So we're lucky that he was able to pick that fumble snap up without being downed by or tackled by one of the Illinois defenders. He did make some throws. He missed Colston Loveland twice. The first time he checked it down to that running back running out, crossing. But he had Colston Loveland right there. And if he just lofted it over to Colston Loveland, then there wouldn't have had to have been this field goal thing that we did. Bryant says the receiver didn't help him out at all. Are you referring to Andrew Anthony? Because JJ threw a nice bomb to Andrew Anthony, which was there. That was a touchdown. He had 2 defenders on him, but that was one where JJ did what he was supposed to do. Is that the one you were talking about, Bryant? Let me know right there in the chat. So he made some throws, but he also missed some throws. But I think the big thing is that when Michigan went down and the pressure was on, JJ didn't give up. He didn't give up on it. He played. He still aggressively threw the ball. Some got batted down. He got pressured, but he stood in there. He didn't buckle, and he kept fighting. And I think that's kind of what you would hope for. Bryant says Anthony, Gash, and Loveland. Yeah, Gash I would have thrown it to Colston Loveland on that play, but Gash did drop that ball there. So Gash did drop a. I mean, it would have been a first down if he had caught it as well. But the Colston Loveland, I think he plays more. He's a more sure-handed receiver. If he had caught it, that would have been a touchdown. But I agree. There were drops. There were drops. Let's see. The play calling, I thought, and I can't wait to see Johnny Olden's reaction to this game. The play calling on offense, even when Blake Corum went out, I thought it was a little too conservative. I thought they were calling a lot of run plays um, up the middle. The big bad wolf has entered the building. What's going on, Herb? I don't know that they were looking ahead. I think, you know what this game reminded me of? It reminded me of the 2016 Indiana game when Wilton Spate went out with the broken collarbone, and our team was just kind of just holding on and trying to escape with that victory so we could go down to Columbus with just the one loss. So I don't think they were looking ahead. I think we missed Mike Morris, and we definitely missed Donovan Edwards and Luke Schoonmaker on the offensive side of the ball. That's what I think happened. But the good thing, hopefully Blake comes back. That Blake Corum injury, when I initially saw it, I said, "Oh my goodness, that one looks bad." Because when Blake got hit, I think he hyperextended it. When that defensive player hit his knee, Blake was diving, and the pain was such that he dropped the ball before he hit the ground. So whatever happened to his knee, he was in a lot of pain. So fortunately, he was able to get up and walk off the field on his own power. He tried to come back in the second half, but hopefully it's with a little bit of rest and a little bit of physical therapy. Hopefully he'll be ready to go next week, because I think we're going to need him down in the snake pit. Herb says, been there. Let's see. Herb, are you referring to a knee injury? Did you play running back? Is that what you're referring to? Okay. Okay. Yeah, those knee injuries for a running back, if your knee goes, if one of your ankles gets hurt, then that's, yeah, there goes a lot of your mobility and a lot of your ability to make defenders miss and turn the ball upfield and reverse things. Speaking of reversing and turning the ball upfield, they ran a couple of designed runs for JJ, and I think JJ, he kept trying to bounce them out. And I think there was a key play there in the second half where if he had turned it up early, he would have picked up a few more yards and he would have kept that drive going. But so the play calling, I thought again, when Blake Corum went out, I said, you got to put the game on the shoulders of JJ and let him win the game. I think he ultimately did that. So we had some things go our way, but I think he showed that. Ooh, I'm looking at Brian's comment. Okay, I didn't see the post-game report. Okay, so Brian says Corum may be out 2 to 4 weeks. So it looks like from this, we're not going to have our number one weapon down at the snake pit. Okay, which is not a deal breaker, but it's not going to help. Let me put my phone on silent. Give me a second here. Okay, yeah, that's not going to help us, because part of our game is the bully ball. It's pounding the other team with our offensive line, and pounding those opposing defenses into submission. So now we're gonna have to get one of the other. We're gonna have to do it by committee. If Donovan is healthy, he'll obviously start, but that's a game changer for us, unless it's a Wilton Spate thing where Jim and the coaching staff are going to play possum a little bit, and then we'll see Blake out there dressed up next Saturday. But for a running back, if his knee, if a knee is significantly banged up and compromised, that's gonna drastically hurt his effectiveness. Okay, let me yeah, I thought it was a bizarre game, guys. Well, not bizarre, but just closer than it was predicted to be and closer than I would have liked. And I thought that when Jim opted to kick that field goal to make it what was that 16 16 to 17 as opposed to going for the go ahead touchdown on fourth down. I thought that, yeah, there's no way uh, Illinois is not going to milk the clock and let us come back and kick another field goal. So I was pleasantly surprised. I think there was a holding call on Illinois late in the game when they were trying to kill the clock. I think that really set them back. But when Jim opted to kick that field goal and we didn't get the touchdown, I think that was after JJ, after Isaiah Gash dropped the pass and after JJ missed Colston Loveland. I thought, yeah, we're probably not going to win this one. Okay, I'm going to go to ESPN to look at the stats. I'm going to make sure I'm not in one of those windows that brings up the video because that kind of trips me up sometimes. But we're going to take a look at the stats, guys. Let me know what you think about the game or what you thought about the game in the chat there. And I mean, you wanted to ideally get out of this game without losing one of your main horses, and it looks like we've lost our main horse. But that's what happens when you're so run heavy and you haven't established a nice balance yet. You know, we might have some semblance of a balance now. And JJ is going to have to throw the ball more next week, but you wanted to get out of this game without Blake being hurt at least. Okay, statistics. Okay, queuing these up right now. All right, so you guys should be able to see that. Okay, so I'm going to go to this view because I like this view a little bit better. Boom, where I'm kind of looking up at the statistics. Okay, so the statistics. So for Illinois, Tommy DeVito went 21 for 30 for 178 yards. JJ finally broke the 200-yard mark again, and he went 18 for 34 for 208 yards. Now, if Blake got hurt, Blake wasn't hurt, then JJ probably doesn't break 200 yards because we would have been handing the ball off so much. If you're just coming in, please hit that like button. Blake Blake was on pace for another one of his monster games. Blake carried the ball 18 times for 108 yards and one touchdown before he hurt his knee. This kid right here, Chase Brown, he carried the ball 29 times for 140 yards. And once that kid started getting rolling, I was thinking, okay, they're on a bit of an offensive roll now. So it feels like the momentum has shifted permanently, but fortunately it didn't. They also said during the commentation or the broadcast that kid is also going to be a high draft pick as well, along with Blake. In terms of receiving, they don't have Colston Loveland's picture here. They have his number 18 jersey. Colston Loveland caught 3 balls for 50 yards, and it looks like he was our leading receiver in this. Casey Washington for Illinois caught 6 balls for 53 yards. Okay, so I'm going to go to the box score. So I already went over to the quarterbacks in terms of rushing. Blake led our running backs in rushing before he went out. And after that, it was by committee. CJ Stokes carried the ball, and Isaiah Gash carried the ball, and Tavier Dunlap got one carry. In terms of receiving, once again, Colston Loveland caught 3 balls for 50 yards. Ronnie Bell caught 3 balls for 44 yards. Blake Corum, before he went out, caught 2 balls for 39 yards. And Cornelius Johnson caught 5 balls for 38 yards. Isaiah Gash caught 3 balls for 24 yards. Roman Wilson caught 1 for 9 yards. And Max Bredesen caught 1 for 4 yards. That one reception by Roman Wilson kept us alive. Because that was on 4th down, and he caught the ball and then quickly went out of bounds. But that was a big catch by Roman Wilson. And there was another play there where JJ had Ronnie Bell open in the flat, but he just decided to run it and he completely missed him. So let's see. Blake Corum fumbled the ball once and lost it. That was on his knee injury. JJ fumbled the ball once, and that's when he recovered it, and that's when he hit Cornelius Johnson for that first down. Please hit the like button if you're coming in. Let me know what you think in the chat. Did today's game scare you? Are you encouraged or discouraged for next week's trip down to the Snake Pit? In terms of the defense, again, we missed Mike Morris. If Mike Morris plays, I think we get more pressure on the DeVito kid. But that's football. It's late in the season. Some players are going to get nicked up. Yeah, I think the important thing is that we get Mike Morris back for our trip down to the Snake Pit next week. In terms of the defense, let's see. Junior Colson led the team in total tackles. They tackled really well across the board.
I'm your football obsessed best man.
Hold on.
All eyes are on you.
All right. There were no sacks on the DeVito kid from Illinois. Okay, if Mike Morris plays, I'd like to think that we get at least one. There were no interceptions. We didn't pick them off. Ronnie Bell returned 2 punts for 45 yards. And then Jake Moody, he went 4 for 4 in terms of field goals, and he hit the game winner. So it helps in a game like this to have a clutch kicker. I'm going to go to the team stats now, and then I may wrap this up and then go take a look at the Ohio State game, because they were not, when I turned the TV off, they were not beating Maryland decisively. So I'm going to go to the team stats. Yeah, so I already went over the leaders for passing, rushing, and receiving. So the stats, they were pretty even. They were very even. Michigan had 18 first downs. Illinois had 20. In terms of third down efficiency, Michigan was 7 for 19. Illinois was 5 for 13. And here's one of the big differences in the game. Michigan was 3 for 4 on 4th down. One of those was the Roman Wilson catch. Michigan generated 376 total yards. Illinois generated 326. In terms of passing, Michigan generated 208 passing yards. Illinois generated 178. In terms of rushing yards, Michigan generated 168. Illinois generated 148. So we outgained them in both phases of the offense. The penalties were about even, and Michigan turned the ball over once, which was Blake Corum's fumble on his injury. And once again, we won the time of possession. So statistically, we should have won the game, but it was, I think, Blake Corum going out was huge. And so now the team has to prepare to play without Blake Corum next week. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about today's game? About the final score? Michigan's prospects for winning next week. I haven't. Well, we they probably won't release the prediction until after Ohio State plays, or after they finish playing Maryland. But what do you guys think? Do you think without Blake, do we have a chance of winning the game, or do you think that it's a possibility? I'm going to drop the link. Uh, I see some more folks have come in. If you're just coming in, please hit that like button. I just went over the statistics. And hey, my condolences to the Beamala family. I think Brett Bielema lost his mother, so they were talking about that during the broadcast. He wasn't sure if he was going to coach the game for Illinois, but he did. But um, what do you guys think? I'll drop the link right now. Again, I suspect folks are probably watching Ohio State and Maryland right now. And when I finish this, I'm going to go take a look at Ohio State and Maryland because Ohio State, when I turned the TV off, they weren't winning the game decisively. But we know that Ohio State can explode at any moment. So when I turn the TV on, the score might be a little more different. So the link is there. I'll hang on for about 4 more minutes if no one wants to come up and say anything. But what did you guys think about today's game? Uh, I was nervous. I was scared, especially in that third quarter when Blake went out and they kept running the ball. Okay, Bryant says Ohio State is down 10-13. Okay, well we know that Ohio State can score in bunches, so it's until you see 3 zeros on the clock, there's always a chance that they will come back and win. Okay. JJ JJ interestingly said after the game, I think the reporter asked him what he thought our chances were of winning the game next week. He says our chances are good because we're a better team than we were last year. So I don't know if he was talking about him being a better quarterback than Cade or us just having a potentially more explosive offense that we haven't seen that much this season aside from running the ball. Now, the other thing is, so he missed Ronnie Bell when Ronnie Bell was open in the flat. We saw that miss. And Bob Greasy, I believe it was Bob Greasy, he pointed that out. And then there was a play where Andrew Anthony ran in and then broke towards the sideline. And he had the separation, but JJ just missed him. JJ overthrew him, missed him. So those throws are there. Let's see. Trepper says, do you think style points matter in the college football playoff rankings? I think absolutely they do. I think the committee will look at this and say, Michigan, you won by 1 point, depending upon how TCU and Tennessee and those other teams, depending upon how they do. Yeah, Michigan could get jumped in the playoff rankings. Bryant Williams says receiver coach Ronald Bellamy has some explaining to do. What do you mean, Bryant? Do you think that this is a thing where the receivers aren't getting separation, or are you thinking about the dropped touchdown by Andrew Anthony? I mean, what more would you want Ronald Bellamy to do? He can't. He had a good career at Michigan himself. I think he was the second or third receiver behind Braylon Edwards, but he can't go out there and make the plays for the players. They have to make the plays when they're out there. I think they need more opportunities. That's what I think. But let me know what you think there. Okay. Well, all that's pretty much what I had. They were supposed to win by more. They won it by the skin of their teeth, and I think that we had some guys out, and I think Blake Corum banging up his knee, I think that contributed to the result that we got. Though, as they say, a W is a W. So I'm happy to have the W, especially since my uncle, uh, texted me first thing this morning talking trash about he was going to root for Illinois. So that makes this victory a little more sweeter. Plus, Buckeye Alex and some of our other friends were talking about how bad our team looked in the second half. So that makes this win all the more sweeter. And it'll be even sweeter if Ohio State loses to Maryland. If you're just coming in, please hit that like button. I dropped the StreamYard link in case anyone wants to come up. Michael Burden normally comes up and gives his 2 cents, but I don't see him here. Michael might have been at the game. Michael is a true blue diehard Michigan fan, so he might have been at the game. Bryant says the receiver's not running sharp routes. Oh, okay. So maybe that has something to do with why they may not be getting open for JJ to drop the ball in there. That might have something to do with it. Though it's surprising that Ronald Bellamy, with the success he had at Michigan, and then Ronald Bellamy, I know he played in the NFL at least for a short. Why it's surprising that at this stage of the season, why that wouldn't be polished up and short of, but maybe it's not. These are 18 to 22-year-olds. Okay, guys, before I go, thoughts on next week's game. Let me know what you think. Do you think we have a chance of winning that game? Do you think that it's going to be a bit of a crapshoot? I mean, certainly not having Blake certainly hurts us, but the offensive line is still intact. Aside from, I think we're missing Karsten Barnhart. I think that's the guy we're missing. Well, we still got Oluwatimi there at center. We've still got the other guys on the line. Now I think it's going to be more of we're going to need JJ Moore to win this game. Bryant Williams says, and Bryant, I appreciate you commenting. He says, this is Ron's first year as receiver coach. Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and watch this Ohio State game. The game is actually, it's not taking place far from where I live. It's actually College Park is probably 20 minutes from here, but I decided to just kind of hang out here. So, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Once again, congratulations, Wolverines. That was a good win. It sucks that we lost Blake, though, depending upon how bad it is, I've seen stranger things happen. Sometimes our top players, even though they're supposed to be hurt, they still suit up for the Ohio State game. So depending upon how bad it is, I have to hear what the injury is. If it's a sprained ligament, it looked like his knee got hyperextended backwards like this, and that Illinois player rammed right into his leg, right above his knee, and Blake was clutching his knee. So depending upon what it is, they may be able to give him, despite what was said, they may be able to give him therapy and get him out there a little bit, but certainly it will be optimal to have him at 100%. All right, Brian, thank you. Thank you for stopping through. And if you watch this on the playback, this will probably get more views on the playback than it's got live. If you're watching on the playback, respect is earned. Shout out to Bo Lytle. If you see fit, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box, and you can leave a super thanks. And hey, good win, Wolverines. Go blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. I will probably try to fit in a pre-Ohio State stream before the game, early in the week, preferably. Then I'll try to get Buckeye Alex over here. I'm sure he's going to want to talk trash leading up to the game. So look for something prior to next week's kickoff in Columbus. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your night, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you again for the support and those of you who keep coming back. So I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.